Hi, Outpouring kids. Good morning. I had this book with me last week. Do you remember what this book is called? That's right. It's called a Bible. And I was wondering if I could read you a story this morning, another one from inside my Bible. Would that be okay with you? Okay. This morning I thought we could read a story about a woman, and she had a jar. It looked kind of like this one. And she did something really special with her jar. Do you want to know what it is? Okay, let's read it together. One night, Jesus went to dinner at an important leader's house. The important leader invited his important friends. They were all just sitting down to eat when a woman walked in. She was not invited, but everyone knew who she was. And they said, "Who does she think she is? How dare she?" She was a big sinner, and everyone knew it. She did some bad things and broke some rules. The woman walked straight up to Jesus. She was carrying a very expensive perfume. Now, the thing about perfume back then was that it didn't come in bottles, it came in jars. And in the jars, they were made of precious stone like alabaster. But here's the catch, the jars didn't have a lid. The only way you got the perfume out was if you broke the jar. Can you imagine breaking a jar like this one? Most people didn't use perfume because it was too precious. They would just keep it on a shelf and look at it. They would look at their jars on the shelf. Isn't that interesting? So you see, this perfume was her most precious thing in the world. It was her treasure. The woman knelt down before Jesus like he was a king. She held Jesus' feet in her hands and started to cry. Her tears fell onto Jesus' feet, washing them. She kissed his feet and dried his feet with her long dark hair. And then she did something strange. She broke the jar. Can you believe it? She broke her jar of expensive perfume and it spilled out all over Jesus' feet. Everyone gasped. Can you gasp with me? This is what it sounds like. Can you do that with me? She just broke the jar. What a waste over someone's feet, they were saying. Such expensive perfume, they just could not believe their eyes. Jesus looked at the woman and he smiled at her. What she had done was the most wonderful thing. The important people were cross. They thought Jesus should not be kind to this woman. That woman is a sinner, they grumbled. We're the good ones. And it's true, they did look good from the outside, but they were not good on the inside. Jesus could see inside people, and inside their hearts, Jesus saw that they did not love God and they did not love people. They were running away from God and they thought they didn't need a rescuer. They thought they were good enough because they kept the rules, but sin had stopped their hearts from working properly. And their hearts were hard and cold. This woman knows she's a sinner, Jesus said. She knows she'll never be good enough. She knows she needs me to rescue her. That's why she loves me so much. And Jesus said to the important people, he said, "You look down on this woman because you don't look up to God. She is sinful on the outside, but you are sinful on the inside." That's what he said to them. And Jesus turned to the woman and he smiled. And do you want to know what he said to her? This is what Jesus said to the woman. "Your sins are forgiven. You trusted me and God has rescued you." Isn't that amazing? Jesus is so kind. His heart is so full of goodness. And that woman who broke the jar on Jesus' feet, all that expensive perfume that just poured out from her jar, do you know that's kind of like worship? Do you want to know how you can worship and how I can worship every day? Okay, we can worship with our words and the things that we say. Can you help me think of a couple things that we could say? To worship Jesus, we could say things like, I love you, Jesus. Jesus, you are my friend. Do you want to say those couple things with me? That would be fun. I love you, Jesus. You are my friend. That's right. That's how we worship. We worship Jesus with our words, just like the woman with the jar worshiped Jesus with her expensive perfume. So let's do that all week. Do you want to do that with me all week? Maybe we could do it together. And you think of me and I'll think of you. And we'll say this together all week long. We'll say things to Jesus like, Jesus, you are my friend. And Jesus, I love you. Does that sound good to you? Okay, let's do it together. I love you, Outpouring kids. We'll see you soon. I hope you have a good week. Bye.
Thanks, Katie, for sharing that kid's story with us. If you have any prayer requests or even a testimony of God's goodness, we would love to hear from you. Please send us an email at info@the-outpouring.com. You can watch today's service and previous services on our YouTube channel. And also be sure to follow us on our Facebook and Instagram pages. Thank you so much for being with us today, church, and we'll see you next Sunday.
See ya!